We are down and out in a Publix parking lot, as you can see. So the parts that's broke is this upper vent hose for the radiator. Hey there, Internet Keeve here, and it's just amazing all of the trouble that can be caused by a cheap part like this. This just broke on Heidi recently. This is the vent hose for the expansion tank on the N55 F30. This is a known failure point. The amount of DMs I got on my Heidi_the_335 Instagram when I posted about this was amazing. From 55,000 miles up to 90,000 miles, the amount of people that said this failed on them was crazy. So put this on your list with the charge pipe. By 50,000 miles, you should have both of those preventively taken care of. If you're modding before 50,000, that charge pipe should definitely be done as well. This one is known to fail between, like I said, 55 and 75,000 miles. This right here can be a big problem. If this busts, it can cause a lot of air to get into your coolant system. That can damage other parts. You can overheat, all kinds of other issues. Obviously coolant, as you can see right here, we used almost a gallon of coolant. So this video will have multiple parts. Obviously the install of this part, and then also the electronic bleeding process that's done with the electronic water pump. So you can skip to this time mark here to go to the install. This time mark here will take you to electronic bleeding process. I also have chapters in the description below just in case. I will have a link to this part in the description below, along with some of the other things I use. The good thing is if you do it preventively, you won't have to rush at the last second like I did. Thank you Tony Fuentes and Eurofed for getting me this part same day. I needed it badly. So we learned a lot along the way on this, and I had a lot of guidance from Tony Fuentes again. Not an M4 underscore on Instagram helped me out as well with the electronic bleeding process. Really appreciate that. And anybody else that was in the DMs, I really appreciate it. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get right into the install. All right, as you can see, our dilemma. We got here a little bit too late to be able to film during the day, but I got a light. Part that's busted is this vent hose that goes over to the expansion tank over here. I think we got lucky. There is liquid in the expansion tank. I don't know if you can see that, but not a whole lot. We did lose fluid, as you can see. It's built up there. It actually leaked everywhere. There's I don't know how long it's been doing it. I saw a little coolant line come on. I saw on my my dashboard from my phone for the tune that the engine temperature was going up. Immediately got off the road as fast as I could. Hopefully we didn't damage anything with any air bubbles. We definitely did not overheat, but air bubbles can be a problem as well. So we're gonna have to bleed the system when we're done fixing this. But this is the easiest part probably to fix on a BMW. Probably easier than the windshield wipers. So you basically got a little clip right here that just pops out. This slides off. This hose just runs all the way over to the expansion tank, and then there's a clip here as well. You can see that pops off the same way. That part comes together as one piece. All right, so for this is pretty easy. It's just this little clip, a small flathead screwdriver, a pick, a small needle nose pliers will work too. A little trick here, just push that out farther. That gives you just enough room to get the flathead under. And you just pull it until it pops out. Don't put any pressure on this piping right here. Just pull out like that and you got it. And this right here, be careful as you pull this out because this is now BMW brittle plastic. Just gonna have to slide it off. There we go. Like I said, be very careful because this right here is probably still brittle. And this probably should be replaced at some point. In about 10,000 miles, we're gonna be 15,000 miles, we're gonna replace everything. Water pump, preventively take care of whatever we can. As you can see, this one has one of those clips as well. But like I said, that right there is definitely brittle. That's probably another failed point as well. So right here, this one's a little bit easier. The point of contact for the flathead right here is at the top rather than on the side like the last one. So put that under, pull it up. There we go. Be careful, it slides right off. So now we'll just undo the tubing from here, which is easy. It's just a bracket right there and a bracket right there. All right, so now we got both ends popped out. Just feed it through the middle. It's just two brackets, one here, one here. It goes underneath this bracket for the intake, but that doesn't get in the way. You can actually fit through either way. Just pull out that bracket and this bracket. Slowly pull out this way because this will be easier because this side has the broken piece. It should slide right out. All right, so feed it through nice and easy. We don't want to break anything. There we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead, just kind of set it right here. We'll go ahead and put it in the bracket there and here. Now we'll change positions so we can pop these on. All right, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the ring is popped out. If not, just use your flathead and pop it out. It's going to be easier to put on. This is a very delicate part. There's really no way to get it fully in to go straight this way. You have to go to an angle, kind of like you would, you know, if you were moving a house and you need to get a couch up and down the stairs through a doorway. You got to kind of creep your way through at an angle. So we turn it about, I think it's about 45 degrees, and get it right over the tip of that nozzle, and then it should fall right in place. Then we just move it in place. We pop that clip in. Same thing on this side, make sure that ring is out. Push it right in, easy. Clip down. It's almost like BMW knew you're gonna be replacing this multiple times, and they could charge you an hour or two at BMW for that little clip. And there's really no labor at all. It's like a 5-minute job. They'll charge you an hour for it. So now we got the part in. Now we need to bleed the cooling system because we may have gotten air bubbles in there. The tank is pretty much empty. There's a little bit of liquid in there, so I think we're okay on this one. But BMW, all the electric water pumps have a purge, and it's basically called the electronic bleeding process. And I'll show you that process. But first we need to fill the tank up. We're gonna fill it up to the middle level here, and then we're gonna run through that purge process and then watch it. The actual max fill line's about right down here. It's really hard to see on these cars. It's just, it's a horrible make. They made it almost impossible to read. But we're gonna go ahead and fill this in with some Peak original equipment technology for European cars. You can see BMW all 50/50 already diluted. I always use a funnel. I think that's good enough for now. We can add more later on the next process if we need it. And while it's in here, you're going to actually hear it start to blurp a little bit. It's just working out on its own through the cooling system. Then we'll do the purge process with the electric water pump, and then you'll be able to hear this thing make all of its noise. One thing I forgot to mention is you need to open up this bleeder valve right here. The three or four rotations should do it, just enough to allow it to breathe freely. So this next piece is pretty easy to do. We want to push that start-stop button, but we don't want to have our foot on the brake. We don't want the car to start. We want to set our temperature to 84 degrees, and we want to put the fan setting on the lowest amount. Then we hold the gas pedal in for about 10 seconds, and you'll start to hear the electric water pump kick in and do all of this stuff. A good thing to do is to go ahead and make sure that you got like a trickle charger on, because if you're going to do many more processes than one, even with one, you probably should. I'm just an idiot and I won't do it. And also, if you have like your running lights set, you may want to go through your iDrive once you turn it on and turn your running lights off while it's sitting. All right, here goes nothing. Turn the car on. Then we're going to put our copyright music down, put it to 84 degrees, which is max. We're going to put it, we have it on the lowest setting. Like I said, make sure you go into your iDrive under settings, lighting, turn your daytime running lights off, then flip that switch right here to off. We're just going to hold down the gas pedal for 10 seconds. Alright, you can hear it bleeding. So let it do its thing. Fill in when you need to if it gets too empty. Make sure you're keeping an eye on that coolant level. Tank isn't getting dead empty. As you can see, we're spitting a good amount of liquid, not a whole lot of air. You can watch it, you can know if it's got air bubbles. See that here? See the air bubble right there? Just keep an eye on it. It should take about 10 minutes for this process. We did bleed this a second time, and I didn't state that earlier, so I want to make sure it's clear now. There are so many tutorials and people out there with knowledge on this, and there seems to not be a single consistent
way of doing it between every one of them. So I did it a second time with the cap closed and the bleeder valve completely closed, because that creates the pressure that you need to get the rest of the air out. So for me, I would say do it the first way with the cap off. You can see it, so you can keep adding coolant to get coolant into the system, and then run it pressurized the second time around. But make sure you wait 5 minutes between each one. So doing it a second time, you definitely got to make sure that you have some kind of charger on the car. Obviously, you're in a parking lot somewhere in the middle of nowhere like me. I didn't have a jump box. It's kind of a bad situation. I got lucky, but a jump box or having somebody nearby that can jump you off if you need it. All right, so we're done. So make sure you turn down the bleeder valve about the same amount that you opened it. We close it up. We're going to put the car in accessory and then turn it over and see, make sure the low coolant light doesn't come back on, and then you'll get a nasty cold start because the car's been sitting a while. You see, the only faults we have currently is the door open and the fuel reserve, so we are good to go. Okay, so let the car warm up a little bit, leave it on the 84, and then run the fan, and then make sure you got some nice hot air coming through the vents. I do, so you know you got proper coolant flow through the heater core. Another way to tell is I have an engine gauge on my phone using an OBD2 dongle that measures all kinds of other things, but as you see, my coolant level earlier today was closer to 220 when I shut her off. She's just hanging around that 180 range. The car on the tune is on a performance tune, so she keeps the coolant levels much lower than normal, under that 200 mark. 4,500 RPMs constant, and that temperature is just steady as can be. So that's it for this video. I really hope it helped you out in any way. Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, the electronic bleeding process, there's going to be opinions on that. I've never had two people that have the exact same opinion on how to do it. And I never saw two of anything written down anywhere that was the exact same. So, but we did get all the bubbles out. Everything's good. Please make sure that you preventively replace this tube. This can lead to catastrophic failure. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.